Hi everyone. Just gonna get ready, won't be a second. This is a bouncy blow dry workshop today. So we're going to do a bouncy blow dry technique using pins. As soon as I figure out how this works. There we go, sorry. Apologies for the lateness, I was replacing my tripod because my other one broke. Okay, alright, one sec, sorry. Alright, I'm ready. Hi guys, this is a quick session to do a blow dry technique on a blockhead using a round brush. I'm using a bristle brush, ball bristle as well, but you can use a metal retention brush if you like. I've already pre-sectioned, I've already conditioned, put product in, blast dried and sectioned as well, so I'm going to go through my sectioning technique in just a second. I conditioned using the Colour Obsessed conditioner by Matrix. I worked Total Body in by Sexy Hair as well. We've got this product available at the Academy, Total Body, there you go. As well, really great blow dry lotion. I find that it works really well because it hydrates the hair as well as giving it lift at the same time. I'm going to be working again with a round brush, drying the nozzle as well. Now, when I actually do a pin curl blow dry, I like to blast dry it sort of with a flat brush, just to get that root lift up there as well. I just use my vest brush just to sort of lift the hair up to get that lift at the root. And then what I do is I choose to pre-section it. Now the reason why I do that is because once I've sectioned it all out, I can then just pin curl it as it goes. So these are my sections. This is the crown section, it's taken in a V. There's two sections below it. There's 3 sections below that and there's 2 sections below that. So I know that when I wrap that hair into the pin curl, I've already got the clip ready for it. There's 2 sections at the side and there's 3 sections in the top. Now this is what we call a 6-section blow dry. Now I know there's not 6 sections in this, there's actually more sections in there, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 sections. All I've done is then subdivided those sections, as you can see. I've blasted it off to about 80% dry because that's where I pretty much like to work when it comes to doing a bouncy blow dry as well. So I think this is sort of the nice sort of dampness. It's still nice and damp from root to end, but it's not too damp, so I'm not constantly going in there as well. When doing a bouncy blow dry, things to consider, particularly the actual hair itself. Is it fine? Is it thick? Is it coarse? Or is it curly as well? These will have massive impact in terms of how you actually style the hair as well. I can't believe you still work there. I think you and Gail did most of my assessments. Thanks. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to work from the top down. Now this blow dry that I actually want to create is a smooth blow dry, but with a little bit of bounce and movement in there as well, but mainly with volume. So when I'm doing a bouncy blow dry with volume, I start at the top and I work my way down the sections, which is why I pre-section it. This allows me to set it really nice and high on its base. It means that these sections can be set higher up as well, and these sections can be set higher up as well. You'll see it as I go through the technique. If I want more curl, I actually start from the bottom and I work up to the top. So I have different ways of doing it for different techniques as well. If I'm looking for volume and bounce, I roll the hair in on the horizontal. If I'm looking for a curl, I roll it in on the vertical. So I take the sections vertically and I'd roll them in, and then that creates that like corkscrew kind of effect. If I actually lift up and then wind down onto this section, that creates more of a bounce, which will actually lift, be straight, and then just sort of go in slightly different directions as you work through the hair as well. So that's my sectioning, and that's my winding technique. I'm going for a bouncy blow dry today, not curly blow dry. So I'm actually going to be winding everything on the horizontal as well, as much volume as I possibly can get, which is why I'm starting at the top and working down. I'm working with my dryer. I use GHD dryer as well, and I'm working with a nozzle. I'm working with a nozzle because the cuticle on this is slightly coarse. Oh, can't wait to join this year. Oh, we can't wait for you to join as well. That's great, it's nice to meet you. The cuticle on this is slightly coarse, so I'm going to need the nozzle on the dryer to actually smooth the cuticle of the hair whilst creating movement, volume and curl simultaneously. However, for example, if this blockhead was very, very fine, very, very straight hair, I would take my nozzle off. There's a reason why the nozzle comes off, is because it's not suitable for every single hair type. If you have a nozzle attached onto a dryer on very, very fine, very, very straight hair, you're just going to make it flatter and straighter. No matter how much brushwork you're doing, you're just going to be over smoothing the cuticles. If they're already naturally smooth, they don't require any further smoothing. So in that case, I would work without a nozzle, because I'm only looking for to generate heat, and then the brush will actually do the rest. But I am actually going to do a little bit of smoothing today, so I am going to use a nozzle attachment on there as well. I'm going to demonstrate the first technique as well. I'm just going to position myself in a way that you'll be able to see. I'm going to do it with the dryer switched off at first, so I can actually talk you through the section, and then I'll switch it on. Now the first section you can see here is taken in a V section on the crown. The reason why I take a V section at the crown is because if I took a straight section, I would get two splits either side of the parting. We don't want that. What we actually want to do is create sections that are manageable, but also that they blend into one another, so it simultaneously lifts and creates that kind of volume, curl and movement that we're actually looking for as well. So that's why I've worked on this V section. The rest of the sections underneath work straight and in a brick-like pattern. You'll be able to see the sectioning really clearly once I've actually blow dried it and wrapped it into pin curls. So that's my sectioning. Here's my first section here as well. I'm just going to take this clip. I'm going to be using this clip later as well, so I'm actually just going to attach it to another part of the hair where it's easier for me to reach. I've just attached it to the section above it. I'm just going to comb my section into place as well, so I'm going to brush it up. Now we're looking for maximum volume. Now in order to achieve maximum volume, what we're looking for is to over direct the base. So I'm actually going to lift this hair super, super high. That would be on base, so that's where it grows from. This would be slightly off base. So when I wind that way and then I wind back onto myself, I create the maximum amount of volume through that section through there as well. So I'm taking this section and I'm lifting up and I'm drying. She's going to come off, I can tell. Just one sec, sorry. She's going to come off, I know she is. She's going to sabotage my session. I'm going to lower it down slightly as well. Sorry guys. I'm not tall enough. As well. So I'm just going to get my section back. Here we go. There we go. That's great. And I find the ball bristle brushes give me a really good pull on the hair as well. So I think that's really important as well. Sorry, I'm just making sure the section's right. Yeah, because you're going to see it this way. So then I'm going to lift up right the way up, and then the dryer is going to dry the roots underneath, it's going to dry the roots on top, and then once I feel I've smoothed the cuticle in the mid-lengths and ends as well. So basically, when I actually start to take this section, first of all, I start wanting to dry the roots. So I'm going to go right in underneath and dry under here. You can see where the roots are, where the nozzle is. It's pushed away from the scalp so it won't burn as well, and we're drying underneath that root section. Once I feel the underneath is dry, then I'll be able to lift through to the top section here, dry a little bit further, and then start to create more and more lift as we actually work through the section until we feel all this midsection here has been dried. Then we work through to the top, and then we'll wrap down onto ourselves. So that's what we'll actually be looking for, like this wrapped technique. I'll then remove that once slightly cooled. I usually leave it about 4 or 5 seconds, and then I'll set it into a pin curl. Okay, so I'll demonstrate that for you now. Sorry, I'm just going to brush it. Got a little bit tangled because I wasn't actually using... Just going to use a medium heat so you can still hear a little bit. So again, just work through. Keep brushing the hair. Work through here. Keep brushing. And then begin to lift. This will actually smooth the cuticles and create that curl that we want at the same time. I'm then going to wrap down onto the section, like so. Sorry, my dryer was in the way. I think that's better. A bit difficult to show you when it's like this. Work through, and then release that section. You want to do it a couple of times, just to make sure it's nice and smooth. And then that's what you're actually looking for there. So as you can see, it's lifted high up on the base, as you can see. So it's going to create the maximum amount of volume through that section as well. Now, the hair is still hot to touch as well. So when we actually begin to wrap it out, and when we comb it, we'll see the shape that's been created as well. And you can see already, I've created that curl. It's a very loose, because it's quite a big brush, you see. This is more about bounce rather than curl. I only want the ends to sort of like move in all different directions. What I want to do very, very quickly is take my 2 fingers, place them in at the root area, and then wrap it back onto itself a number of times. Sorry, caught on my previous section. It's just wrap it back, and then wrap it back. Make sure your ends tuck in nicely underneath the section. And then what you want to do is, using that pin from before, is just basically secure it into place. I'm going to show you this now briefly. That's great. And if you want to really secure both sides, use 2 pins, because that's what I like to do, because I hate it when it pulls and captures out on my next one as well. So that's basically what we're looking for there as well, you can see. So that's just a pin. So it's got nice high volume through there as well. So it's going to create that maximum lift, can you see, because we've lifted away off the base, which is why I wanted to start at the top, because now I can attach this section to that section, this section to that section, the section underneath that to the one above, and then it's going to create the maximum amount of lift through there as well. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate just a couple more sections for you as well, and then I'll recap, and then I'll move on to the front sections as well. I'm not going to do the bottom 2 sections on the live. I'll do those afterwards and take a few pictures, because it's just going to get quite boring, to be honest, as well. Or I might just do them like super mega quick, because I do actually want to show you how to dress. I don't know, I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys want, actually. That'd be really good. So I'm working on the next section. I'm taking this section underneath and I'm just pushing it away. Here's my clip for that section as well. I'm just putting it through there. Again, take your brush. It's all about the brush work. So again, take your brush and really make sure that the hair is nicely brushed through, ready to start the blow dry as well. So again, just take that section underneath there, and I'm just lifting that section through, and that's going to give me the lift if I go underneath the section. Again, really make sure you comb it, and then begin to smooth your ends. By wrapping it back on itself like that, I get maximum tension through there. Just pulling back slightly as well. So again, lift up. And then when you feel ready, wind it onto the base. And you can see there, I would feel very confident that I've actually really nicely smoothed out that section. And you can see how high you need to be when creating that volume through there as well. Okay, so again, what I'm going to do is when I take it out, I like to brush it and twist it slightly, because that starts to formulate the shape that I want. And then before it actually cools down fully, I'll wrap it into place. And now what I'll do is attach this section to the one above it. And that's going to give me the maximum lift that I'm looking for as well. Now, some of you will have like the neatest pincurls in the world. That is definitely not me as well. But to be honest, I'm not particularly bothered about that, because if she was going to leave with it like this, I'd reset it on pins anyway. But that's what I mean. What you're going to do, you're going to lift it right up off its base, and you're going to set them all high up in the head. That's going to give you lots and lots of lift and less curl. Sometimes you'll find if a blow dry is too bouncy and too curled at the ends, it can make the hair look shorter than what it needs to be. as well. And you tend to find, like, sometimes if I've done a blow dry, I'll see clients like pulling at it, you know, because all of a sudden my calf looks really strong today. Their long hair has gone like up to here, you know what I mean? Because I've curled it so much underneath. This technique stops that from happening because it's smoother on the underneath but loads of lift through the top. So we get best of both worlds. Going to work through on the next section. Going to go a little bit more quicker this time. And join that section with that section. And then what's really great about this technique is that if I wasn't demonstrating to you guys, because I've already pre-sectioned all the hair, it's really easy for me to work through the sections. So I'd just be really quickly working through all of this. So again, just go through and I'm just lifting just that underneath section first. And then start to smooth. Make sure you really smooth out those mid-lengths and ends, especially the mid-lengths. Because that's where you're going to get like potential frizz. Wrap the brush around the hair. As well. Usually I don't turn my dryer off either as well. I'm only doing that because it's a demonstration. And to feel confident that it's still nice and warm. That's great. Look, you can see that curl bouncing in. Lovely. Nice and high fingers. Wrap that section in. Make sure the end's tuck under. That's really important. And then pin it high into the top. And that's going to give you that lift because it's going to set all the way up there like that. Like that. Can you see? As well. So again, this is all going to lift up and high because it's being set much higher off its base. I'm going to work in the mid section now. I'm going to do these 3 sections now. And I'm going to do them to real time, and by that, how I would actually do it in the salon as well. So you'll see me working now, like you would in like normal salon environment. And then we'll work on, and you'll see where I'll clip these as I work through. Just trying to see what angle we've got. Yeah, that's cool. So as you can start to see how high I'm going, so all the pin curls actually sit on top of the head. I learnt this technique when I was working in London actually, in Notting Hill, and at first I thought, what are they doing? But then when I saw it afterwards I was like, oh yeah, I get it now. So as you can see, it's pretty quick because I've already pre-sectioned it all, so I don't have to keep messing around with sectioning as well. Probably going to do those two underneath as well because I actually want to create like a really finished look. Can you please show us how to dress it out? Yes, I will. Yeah, absolutely. So like that, can you see? High. So they all set up high on the head. Sometimes you get a little stray like that, don't worry, I could always twist that with a smaller brush afterwards. You know, I wouldn't like stress out or anything if you missed a little bit, because, you know, hey, that's life. You know, and it's a block. So, right, final sections, same again. And then work through to the front. It's pretty quick actually, isn't it? If anyone's got any questions, please feel free to ask as well. That little twisting action that I do at the end, that really helps me to get the final shape that I'm looking for. And I'm just really making sure that I actually nicely secure that last final section in there as well. That's great. Like that. So lift it high up. That's why we have to start at the top for this technique. But you'll see it actually creates quite a smooth edge through the bottom. Wrong way. So again, just take that section, twist on your way out, and it will help create the movement of the curl. Again, very soft look. This technique is more about volume rather than curl. I'm not looking for that really super curly look because I don't like it, I'll be honest. Like that. So that's the section. Yes, you will get a split here, but this is why it's brickwork, because that'll sit over that. That'll sit over that, and that'll sit over that. So that's the top sections there as well. Now we work through to the front. 3 sections at the top, 2 sections either side. Nice and simple. You start at the back of the crown where you were previously, and you work your way backwards. I'm gonna have to lower her down slightly because she's quite long on top. This is like a 1-length haircut, so it's actually like a disaster for a blousey blow dry. So because you can't really get much volume in a 1-length haircut as well. So again, I'd have to really sort of think about that in terms of, and that's why again I do like to work from the top with this section. So I'm just moving these pre-sections out the way, and that's going to be my first section for drying here as well. As you can see, it's really super long through the top as well, so I might have to lower her down even further actually. Let me just check as well. So again, this is why we have hydraulic chairs in salon, just to really make sure that we can actually manoeuvre around. And I ask the client to move. You know, if they need to sit lower in the chair, they need to sit lower in the chair. It's just reality of the, well, it's just reality really, isn't it? I'm actually going to lower this down slightly as well, because at the end of the day, you know, it's us doing the blow dries, it's us doing everything as well. I'm sure you guys will still see a little bit as well. You can see how smooth these ends mainly, but I'm really going to go in at the roots. Now this has no parting, does this technique as well, just so you know. This is really great for what I call flippers, people who flip it from one side to another as well, because you're not setting it into a parting. So I'm just going in, drying the roots first, into that smooth edge that I'm looking for. Going through to the opposite side. And then lifting up into those mid-lengths. Just really making sure that I've got enough heat generated on them to create the look that I'm looking for. And then again, start to wrap. And then work your way down. And as well, I really feel like I've got enough smoothness. I do like to work with these brushes more than the metal brushes, because I think they give you a smoother look on your curl. But they're really strong as well, so they can pull quite intensely. So bear that in mind. So that's the section for the top. I'm just working through, and I do like to brush it out. Can you see? So it's just that nice bend as well. I do this as quickly as I possibly could in salon. I'm taking just a little bit more care and attention today because I'm on TV. Internet TV. In salon, I'd just be like, oh, I'm getting in. Don't matter if they look a bit scruffy, still looks fabulous. Dress it out, dress it out. That's what it's all about. So you can see, so they're nice and high, very much on base as well. So that's why I'm winding over there and really wrapping back onto themselves. Okay, so it's the same through this section. So I'm going to quickly do this now, and then I'll work on the sides, and then we'll dress. So it's really nice and simple. That's better. Little tip for you, when you're winding sections that are quite large over the side, I tilt the brush slightly diagonally as I begin to wind it down. It stops the edges of the section falling off the brush. Then when it comes into place, that's when I straighten it up. Then I can set it, now using the pin curling technique. And I knocked my other section as I was talking to you then, apologies. So I'm just brushing it through. The brush is still hot as well, so it's almost acting like a little bit of a styler. And then again, just taking my hands, my fingers, 2 fingers, and then just winding it into place. And then pop it down onto its base. Any loose hairs, including to the other section. There. Hey guys, you still watching? This session will be live for the next 24 hours. Once I've uploaded it. And then you guys will be able to check it out. Keep going back to it. But practice it at home in your block. Now when I'm working on that section there, I just like to get a clip and join these 2 sections together. Because this one's going to get too much in my way. And I've got to do this front bit yet as well. So I'll just push this one back slightly. I'll take that clip out afterwards as well. So again, look, super long section as well. So sometimes when a client wants a bouncy blowout and 1 length hair, it can be really challenging. So this is the technique I would use for that 1 length client. You know, they don't want any layers. And I'm like, oh, just some graduation around the front would really help. Especially if you want volume. You can see that nice little curl there that's come through as well. I'm just now setting it into the section where I want it. This will sit quite forward as well, so I'll have to dress it back, because what it'll actually do, it'll want to sit over the face because I'm setting it so far forward. But with the right dressing technique, it'll sit where I want it to. I'm just connecting that one to its section so you can see that's the technique. So they're big as well, they're big barrels. They're not tight barrels as well, so it's going to give me loads of lift. Side sections are just worked horizontally through, very nice and easy. If it gets too dry, you would have to dampen it down slightly as well. So obviously, we know about the theoretical elements of blow drying, alpha and beta keratin. Hair does not set until it's fully back into beta keratin state, till all the hydrogen bonds have hardened. So if they're completely 100% dry in this shape, I can't reform them properly and the blow dry won't last. So again, it's about your water spray. Keep your water spray with you. But I'm just going to quickly dry it because I want to move on now. How long should this take in salon? I'd have 45 minutes for this. 45 minutes. That's including shampoo. Because it's more like a set really as well. And I don't charge this as a blow dry. This is a set. Because it's actually set. as well. So it'll be a little bit more. I tend to charge for that as well. So I'm just resetting this section because I didn't feel it set very well as well. So I'm going to clip these high as well in the sides. Nice and high up here. That's lovely as well. I'm going to go a little bit quick now because I'm going to try and get the rest of the sections done so I can dress it out for you. I'm going to spray it and everything. Okay, so that's obviously a little bit faster as well. You're welcome, Tracy. Happy to help. Hope you guys have been enjoying the competition as well. Had lots of entries in, so nice and high as well. A little bit dangling down, don't worry. I'm going to dress that out afterwards as well. So you can see all the sections are nice and high, and you would have to dress out this split as well. So bear that in mind when you actually come to do the final look. Okay, I'm going to super mega quick do these last two sections. Ooh, don't do that. As well, through there. I'm just going to brush this section out. Okay. Wires everywhere today. Wish they'd invent a cordless hairdryer. That was really good. That would be really great, wouldn't it? Yeah. So again, just taking that out. Working through. If your brush gets stuck, don't worry. That actually took a little bit of that top section there with it. Pop a pin in there. There we go. Twist. Wrap. Nice and high. Lovely. As well, and you can see that volume that we're really creating there because we're lifting it really high and we're setting it quite high as well. Sorry guys, didn't even put that one in right. There we go. Right, last section. Okay. I bet you guys are like me, can't wait to get back to salon, can't wait to get back to what you do. Section. Things that we don't actually allow at the academy as well. I know some people do it in the salon, but you're not allowed to put your dryers under your arm or in between your legs as well. So if you were going for an assessment or if you were doing an EPA, that wouldn't be allowed. So you've got to use a trolley. Okay, sections. Complete. Nice and high. All the way through there, as we can see. And then what I'm going to do, obviously, you have to let it fully cool. This is very, very, very important as well. It has to fully cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a bit of hairspray on. Just using a little bit of velvet silk. Not too much though, because I prefer it to be a bit more natural. 30 centimetres away. There we go, that's great. So sometimes, little tip for you guys, if let's say a client was coming first thing in the morning, let's just say, for example, it's a wedding, and the client's coming in and they want it to last all day. Usually what I tend to do is do what's called a double set. So what I would actually do now is get a heater, like a Climbers On, an Infrason or a roller bowl, or whatever you tend to typically heat colour under, and I would place her under one of those for about 5 or 10 minutes. So I call it a double bake, you know, like a double baked souffle or double baked chips as well, oven chips as well. Because what I actually say to clients is that I'm going to double set it because it will last longer. I learned this again, this was a technique I picked up in London. I worked with a girl in Mayfair, she did it, and I used to be like, why does she do that? But her blow dries just had this amazing set-like quality, like, and this shine. And I said to her, I said, how do you get that? She went, it's the second heat that does it, and the second set. So it like reheats it and resets it. So what she'd do, place them on for about 5 or 10 minutes, heat them all again, take it out, leave it for 15 minutes, and then dress it. So she'd be way on to her next client by that point. Then she'd break off, dress it out, and then finish up as well. So again, that's just a little thing. Like, if I was going to do this, say like for a wedding, what I would actually do now is, I would actually put her under a dryer, a heater, sorry, not a dryer, a heater, for about 10-15 minutes, recool it, then it would give me more longevity as well in terms of the set as well, because we're going to really sort of get that like volume through on those pin curls as well. It's going to really sort of like give that kind of super sort of lift in there as well. Another really great technique as well is obviously if a client isn't going to actually go out till the night and it's first thing in the morning, you can pin it. So I'd take each one out and I'd put a hairpin in a grip inside. I'd put 2 grips either side just so it can't fall out. That way she can go about her business all day and sort of stay like that. And then when it comes to the night, give her instructions of how to shake it out. Now, when it comes to dressing, there's a lot of debate about how much you should dress a hair up and a blow dry. And I think it's all dependent on what the client wants and what they actually are going to do. So, for example, again, client comes in. I used to work at a salon and we started at 7 o'clock in the morning. So we'd have clients coming in and they'd have a blow dry, but they'd want it to last all day and night. So what we used to do is just very lightly dress it out. We'd take out the pins, we'd get them to shape the head like that, and then we'd leave it. We didn't dress out. For those clients that were going somewhere straight away, we did a full dress out, and I'm actually going to do a full dress out now. There's 2 different ways. You can shake it out, or you can dress it out using a dressing out brush or a dressing out comb. I prefer to shake it first, and then I'll dress out any further marks. But you've got to make sure it's fully cooled. No, it's not quite there. I'll go for it. Right, so I'm going to actually show you now. I'm going to lift her right up. She might drop slightly. I mean, she's not going anywhere. I did ask her. She's not got any plans tonight. Boyfriend bails on her. So, so what I'm going to do is just take the clip out and you'll see it'll start to drop. Now already what we can see is how much lift that gives. Can you see? This is a block, so obviously it's gonna stay up a bit more. But you can see already what this has done is given that lift by setting it nice and high. And it's just gonna create this like really loose bend like curl, because I used quite a large brush as well. This is quite a large brush as well. So all I'm gonna do is just gently remove the curls, the sectioning clips. Very gently, making sure that none of my none of the hair gets caught when I'm lifting up the clip. And if it does, just gently removing it away. So we can start to see them coming out. And look, you can see how much it gives you a lot of volume, this technique. And obviously because I've got product on it, I have put product in there as well, so it's the product that's actually going in. Best volumizing products that I've used Show Beauty Volume Mist, or anything with wheat protein in. Wheat proteins are particularly helpful when creating bouncy blow dries because they expand with the application of heat as well. So anything that's got a wheat protein in, I love. I've got 2 clips in this one, so I just need to gently remove them. Now, you'll find they're quite gathered in this section as well, so I'm just really making sure that the sectioning clips aren't, yeah, it's a little bit there stuck, never mind, I'll shake it out as well. And then my final one for the top of the back, final section here as well. And what you can see already is how these 2 sections, because they were taking on the V, I've already started to cover these sections underneath as well, because we will have some slight dressing marks through here as well. And just release that last one there as well. I'm just inspecting to see what the curls look like. Yeah, I'd be really happy with those as well. Now I'm going to remove the side ones. Thank you, Shell. Thank you. As well, you can see, look, it encourages that lift and that volume. So it is actually a really cool technique, setting this high up as well. So I'm actually going to start to... I'll dress this out a little bit more as well. I'll show you a few different dressing options. Some clients are really funny about dressing now. I think a lot of clients, I've had clients that have actually said, can I go with it like this? And I'm like, no, you cannot leave with it like this. You look like a spider. But literally, because they're that scared about it dropping. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I was like, you can't leave with it like this, but you have to shake it out a little bit. Come on, people are going to be like, what on earth are they doing that salon? As well. So yeah, but again, some clients are funny. Talk to your client, talk to them about dressing out. Do you like the curls intact? Do you like your curls being dressed out? I used to have this client, she wanted to set it on a really tiny brush, and she was Asian, so she had really super straight hair, and but she wanted it to look like just like soft waves. But then she said to me, but if you do it on a big brush, it's not going to last. So I'd do it. We'd do it every time. She'd go to several people, and then she'd go, it's too curly. And I'm like, well, of course it's too curly. We set it on really tight curls. It doesn't look like Kate Middleton. It doesn't look like Kate Middleton. I was like, well, Kate Middleton doesn't even have a pincurl blow dry. It's more of a twisty kind of blow dry look. But she wouldn't listen. Anyway, at this stage now, client needs to tip the head back. When they take these 2 final ones out, that's really important. Because if they tip it forward, it's going to sit in front of the face. And I need it to sit back at this stage. So I need to let this section sit back like that. Okay, I'm just going to move my dryer out the way. One sec, guys, sorry. There we go. Right, now what I would do is I'd get my hands in there and I'd start to massage the root. So I get my hands in the back like that, and I'm just massaging that root. What this is going to do, it's going to remove the curl lines that we've got. There we go. It's going to remove those curl marks from the root area. Thank you. But it's going to keep the curls intact on the ends. I find that this is a common, a lot of learners, you guys are learners, a lot of clients like this look, because what it's going to do, it's going to keep the curl, but it's going to actually take out that spider-like look. So I'm just going through and I'm just massaging through. And it's not really going to affect my volume too much. And I'm just going to go through. I'm just going to massage through. And then we can leave the ends as that, basically. I'm now going to take these top sections and sit them over. And I'm just, it's very visual dressing, it's sculptural. This is a bit of hairdressing I like the most, actually, doing the final. This is like, you know, like the result, isn't it, you know, the final bit. And my final section, again, just sits back. I always do my final section a little bit smoother. And I always pretty much set all my bouncy blow dries back. I don't set them with a parting unless actually requested to, because I allow it to fall naturally into a parting. Now I'm just going to spray the top, Again, they've got to keep the head back at this point. And then I'm going to massage the sides through. And I like this massage technique because it's actually quite nice for the client, because it's a little bit of a slow massage. I do it a little bit softer than what I'm doing it now. I'm just mindful of time, because the session might run out on live. And then what I do is then I get them to tip it up. So when they actually come back now, that's when I'd say, now lift your head forward. And they start to lift the head forward. And then you can see, oh, she's going. I need to tighten her again. And then you'd see it starting to fall into the place where you'd want it. Because you can see it's just naturally starting to split. And I'd just let that happen. I would really just let that happen, because I want it to sort of naturally move to where it wants to be. But I'd stop fussing with it. Can you see? I'd start thinking now, right, okay, I'm kind of happy with that. Usually, that's how much dressing out I would do. And then I would say to the clients, let them actually take it out themselves as well, if they want to dress it out themselves. So that's how much I'd do. So as well, just smooth out those top sections if you want as well. Just with your fingers. If you're going to go in with your fingers, always start at the bottom and then work your way through up to the top as well. But that is the look what I would be wanting my client to leave with, because that's commercial, because that's going to drop out and be really nice in about an hour's time. You know, she's walking down to get the tube or onto the tram or onto the bus. You know what I mean? She's getting into her car. You know, she's going to be doing a lot of stuff. So if we shake it out a bit as well, you know what I mean? I know that volume's going to stay in the top because I've set it really nice and high and I haven't put a parting in. What do we think, guys? Do we like? Yeah? Comments? Anyone? Thoughts? Anyone want to try this technique? Yeah? No? Okay. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed it anyway. So yeah, so as you can see, it just sort of really creates this kind of like, you know what I mean? And I'd really I'd flip it. You know what I mean? That's what I'd be doing. I'd say to the client, like, flip it. Because I think these always, thank you, I always would suggest them to flip that blow dry as well. So again, try with your pincurls, setting them high on the head as well, and then working through. But again, yeah, as well. You know, if we were to really dress it out as well, like, let's go for something a bit different. I'm just going to dress it out now, which will take most of the curl out. But if I wanted, like, a really, really dressed out effect as well, like, I know, Tracy, you and I have been discussing at the Academy about dressing, because your EPA is, well, we don't know when it's going to be, but when the time comes. I do tend to, on an EPA session, would say really dress it out, because to be honest, you're going to probably put it up afterwards as well. So I'd really go through and I'd probably work all the way through, and I'd probably really, really sort of go through that, either with my fingers or with a dressing out brush. Just really depends on what sort of you're feeling as well. But again, this is a lot more sort of a smoother kind of look that I'm going to go for in the end as well. And I'm just going to making more of a visual look. Yeah, this is going to be a lot more smoother as well, more like that. So as you can see, I've still kept that volume in there. I'm going to higher her right up so you can see mid-lengths and ends. Come on. There as well. So that's more of a smoothed out look as well, like that kind of look as well. And you know what's really great? She can flip it from one side to the next because it's got memory. So look, this is one way, and that's what's really cool about a set. So like, she can sort of really, really dress it out, and then I can think, right, well, I'm just sort of going to like manipulate those ends a little bit, and sort of think, right, well, I'm just going to really structure it through to create more of a look like that. And then later on that day, she wants to change it, run her hands through it. That set's going to reform and reset if set properly, especially if I double set it. She'd be rocking, like proper rocking as well through like that. You know what I mean? Because I definitely double set someone that's going to have its hands through as well. It all comes down to consultation. Do you put your hands through your hair? How long do you want this to last? what are your plans today, where you're going, and what kind of look do you want to go for. And also, because everybody's got that different variation of a bouncy blow dry. For me, that's bouncy, do you know what I mean? Because it's got lift, and lift at the roots and that volume in there as well. So yeah, that's the final result, guys. So she's gonna, like, you know, she's out partying, she's clubbing all night, she's rocking, yeah. And then she's straight back to where it was. That's what's great about a bouncy blow dry in a set, because, you know, you can really sort of work it, but it's just gonna really keep that kind of movement, that curl, that volume in there as well. Still got a little bit of setting marks through there as well, but they've come out after a couple of hours. When the hair starts to get its natural oils back, it will start to move a little bit more, freely as well through there, so don't worry too much about those. And it's on a block, obviously, so your setting marks may stay in slightly more. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this session, guys. For those that just joined, this session will be live on Instagram for the next 24 hours. Please give me feedback on what you'd like to see us do. I hope you guys are enjoying the competition and been entering. There's still time to enter the competition if you want to, and that's our collection competition. If you go on our highlights section, on our story, on our main page, you'll be able to see all the instructions of how to do the competition. I've also done a video on our Instagram TV. There's still time. Entries are until tomorrow at 5:30 to your educator. The prize, second prize, is a private Zoom session online with me, teaching you how to do a triangular graduation as well. Block and clamp delivered to your door. We give you a block and clamp. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, second prize. Yeah, second prize, online training session, private session with myself, teaching you how to do a triangular graduated bob, triangular graduation. We give you the block and the clamp. We're going to deliver that to you. First prize, you also get a private Zoom session with block and clamp. You also get to realise your collection into an actual real-life collection. We provide you with 2 models, a makeup artist, a professional photographer, and full use of our studio space as well. So it's a pretty great prize. So you'll get to deal out your first collection, guys, as well. We hope you're really, really excited about it, as excited as we are. It's been independently judged. We're not judging it ourselves, and we will be confirming the judges on Monday when the judging begins, who's going to be judging it as well. So it's independently judged, so there's no bias or anything like that. And you've got till tomorrow at 5:30. And yeah, second prize. Third prize is a good practice certificate, automatic entry into Apprentice of the Month. Second prize, private Zoom session with myself with block and clamp provided, so you can do it from home. Third session, first prize is private Zoom session plus chance to recreate your collection to life as well. Okay, guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's session. It'll be live on Instagram for the next 24 hours if you want to go back. Give it a go, this technique. With setting the sections all nice and high and lifting up underneath as well. It'd be really great to see any pictures of you trying that at home. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye, everyone. Bye. Say bye. Bye.